Hey, what's up everybody? This is Mark and I'm going to walk you through the file for this tall hinged box fantasy version. And I wanted to say right at the outset that the tall and the short versions of this design are exactly the same in terms of how the file is laid out. So once you see how this works, you know how the opposite one works as well. The one's just taller or shorter than the other. And this particular one we're walking through is made for 0.125 inch material. And there's also a version for 0.16 as well. And again, the layout's exactly the same. So if you've seen one, you've seen the other. Let's start by reading the text, then we'll walk through what we've got here. All of the black lines are for cut. The red lines are to score. And the pink lines, you just delete those. Those are ones that I use just to help organize this visually. I'll show you that in just a minute. This particular file is made for 0.125 inch material. Make sure you watch all the support videos. Of course, you're watching this one, so that's great. But this will make it a lot easier if you watch the materials that I provide. And then this is not for you to cut, but when you click on this square, it should be 1 inch exactly. Don't cut it though. If it's not exactly 1 inch, that means your software has resized something. For example, if you're using Lightburn and you're trying to use the SVG here, depending on what your SVG settings are, if they're not the same as what mine are, it might change the size. So I recommend if you're using Lightburn to use the PDF or the AI formats instead, because they retain the proper size regardless of what size the designer made it in. So make sure that's 1 inch before you do anything. All right, let's walk through this real quick. It looks overwhelming, but I want to tell you that it's really not. And what I did was I organized these in steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. And that will help you choose the parts that you want, because this box has 13 different elements to choose from, and they can be put all different kinds of places. And I felt like I could make you just a simple file that has all the pieces dumped into it, but I thought it might actually be more confusing, so I did it this way. So what you're going to do is you're going to start from step 1 and go to the right and just choose which parts you want to use for the one you're going to cut. And you can either drag them off to the side or drop them in another file, and that way you don't have to look at all the rest. So first of all, you start here in step number 1. This is the inside box. These are the inside box pieces, and everyone's going to use these. So you use those for sure. This is the outside bottom of the box. You'll use that as well. And then here's where your options start coming in. When you get into the left and the right sides of the box, you can make it plain like this. You can make it with this short sword, with an axe, with a mountain, with a D20, a mug of beer, whatever you want to do there. And you just choose the one you want here, and you don't need the rest of them. So you're going to need 2 of these. It says choose your side panel version ×2, flip or mirror for the left side. Now technically you don't have to flip it, but let me just show you what I mean. If you cut 2 of the exact same thing here, that will work just fine. But one of these, you'll be using what you'll know is the top part of the material, in other words, the one that's facing up when you cut it. The other one you're going to have to flip over to go to the other side. So if you're, like, let's say you're masking one side, or let's say you got flashback on the bottom side of your material, you'll probably want to flip one of these so that maybe the marked up one is on the inside. You don't have to, but that's up to you. So that's why I recommend to flip for the left side. So you can choose the blank one, the one with the short sword. You see these have these designs in the corner as well. And you choose 2 of these, one for the left and one for the right. And I want to point out something really important for you here. Each one of these has this offset path around the outside. And if you drag it over here, you'll see that offset path is exactly the same size as the hole that's cut in this one. This version is made for if you want to inlay the short sword in there, like you've seen in some of the photos. And this outside piece is there for 2 reasons. Some of you might want to cut it like this and lay it in here and glue the inside sword in there and then just take out the spacer, the outside of it. That might help you. Or if you are going to decide to do it as a layered version instead of the inset, what you're going to do is you're going to delete this piece because you don't need to cut anything there. And then what you're going to do is ungroup this, and then you're going to use this piece and cut them like this. And so this piece will be cut and laid on top of that one, and then both of these will be laid on top of this piece, like again, like you've seen in some of the other photos. If you haven't looked at the photos or the other videos, then you definitely should do that. So I wanted you to see the options here. I'll undo here. This is how it's sitting at the moment. And if you're going to inlay it, then you can either just ungroup and delete this outside, or if you're going to do it layered, then you're going to want to keep that piece, delete that one, and cut it that way. And you would do that for any one of these down here, and actually for the rest of these as well. So I hope that makes sense. Make sure you ask me if you have any questions before you go forward. So here we're on step 3. You're going to choose 2 of these, one for the left and one for the right. Step 4, you're going to choose your front panel version. Again, there's a blank one there if you want. You can put your own content on there. Then there's a dragon and a set of shield and a set of swords and another dragon and so forth. These are exactly the same. You can ungroup and you can delete that outside if you want to. Or if you're going to separate it and make it layers, there's your 2 layers. You just delete this one in here. And you're going to release the compound path, and you're going to then delete it like that. So it just depends on what you're going to do as to what parts you use and what parts you don't. So you choose your front panel here, and then choose your back panel. I'm not going to go through all that again. You just saw what it was. But this one is a little different. You could use one of the choices that I offered here. And this particular one, you can't do a layered version of this because all the pieces fall apart. So this is only a cutout option. But you could technically take the sword and shield, and you could bring that and put it here. You could do that. And you could put this this cutout here, and you could put it on that back piece there. I just decided that I didn't want to overwhelm your screens with more options and more options. So you can definitely do that if you wish. That's completely up to you. And then here's your lid. This is really, really important. This red line is a score line, and the reason that's there, I'll grab this piece over here to show you, and you'll see this in the assembly video when you watch it. This right here is the inside layer of your lid, and it ends up going just like this right here, okay? And what you want to do is when you're gluing these together, you want to make sure that you don't put glue out here in this space here and here. And so that score line is to make sure that I'll undo that you only put glue inside the score line area, not outside. And we're looking at the underside of the lid right now. In other words, this is the part that is inside the box when it's not open, okay? So that's what we're looking at here. And that's what that red line is, to help you know where to put the glue. So, and I go over this in the assembly video quite a bit. But use this as an example again. If this one is the one you're going to use, you're going to score the red line. You're going to cut the dragon. Now, pay attention here. If you're going to inlay this one, this dragon needs to flip the other way because this is the inside of the lid. You follow me? So when the top side of the dragon will be facing the other way. Now, if your cutout of your dragon is clean on both sides, or you're going to paint it or something, you don't mind. But if it gets any burn marks or any flashback or anything like that, you're going to want to make sure that you have this one faced the right way. So just make sure, again, that you know this is the inside of the lid, and you might want to flip this guy. And you will either keep or not keep that outline, depending on whether you're doing a layered or a non-layered version. And again, everything down here is exactly the same as before. Red line is score. You just pick which one you want to do. And once you've picked each one of those, you got your inside, the bottom, left and right side, front panel, back panel, and lid. The rest of it doesn't matter. So I know it looks overwhelming, but it's really not that bad. And then over here, you got your optional trays that go inside that you saw in the other video as well. Either the set of 2 stacking trays, and you will cut 2 of these. Red line is score, and that's the inside of the box. And you're going to glue this guy right in like that as a handle to be able to lift it up. Okay, so that's what that red score line is for. Same thing with the tall stacking trays. Not stacking, the side-by-side trays. You'll cut 2 of these. So whichever you prefer, you'll cut that version. Again, what I would do is I would either take the pieces you need, drag them off to the side here, or drag them onto another workspace. That way you don't have to deal with the rest of these. I know it seems like a lot, but you're going to love these, and once you realize how it works, it's going to be really easy. Let me know if you have any questions. Watch the rest of the videos, and I'm always here to help if you need me.